Hi, this is Neil Shah and Ritesh Bendre from the Mecca of Manufacturing, Shenzhen. And we are lucky to have this factory tour of Honor's, one of the first factories, Pingshan factory, inaugurated in 2021. So the first smartphone was manufactured on August 18th and the full-scale production started in September. So this is where the foldable Magic V was assembled first in December 2021. And since then, it's almost 5 years and Honor has progressed a lot and almost attained 85% automation rate. Most of these phones which are manufactured here are supplied globally, even certified for different operators over here. So we see Magic V series, which is the flagship foldable series, as well as the Honor Magic number series also being manufactured here. You can see all the different models which are being manufactured here. The latest one being the Magic V5, the world's thinnest foldable, and its latest Magic 8 series with Magic 8 and Magic 8 Pro. So we are here at the production line, and the production line is pretty comprehensive, and if you can see, it goes down to almost like 3 to 4 different processes, and within those there are multiple sub-processes. The first process starts with the SMT, which is surface mount technology. And we have the bare PCBs which with the layouts which are laser carved with automatic laser carving equipment from Shenzhen. And then we clean the PCBs. After cleaning the PCBs, there is printing equipment, and within printing equipment, the layout is printed on the PCBs. And these are the multi-layer PCBs on the both sides. And we then go to the automatic fixture loading equipment where the different fixtures are loaded for the PCBs. And then the soldering process starts, which is the 3D soldering, and then there's inspection as well. And then we have this bunch of Fuji Next equipment machines where the SMT process starts. And the SMT process starts with all the different components are being populated over the PCB. Comprehensive set of all different components being automated with a robotic arm being populated right onto the PCBs. The entire process is automated. And there are a series of different machines where different components are loaded one by one, logically. Then we come down, once those components are loaded, we come down to automatic optical inspection equipment, which optically inspects all the different components which are loaded on the PCBs. Once that is done, then we come down to pressing block equipment, where all the different components are equally pressed, checking the pressure of the different PCBs and different components. And then there is a completely reflowing of the soldering, and this goes through the entire process, which from the ERSA hot flow machine, which we are seeing here. Once the soldering is reflowed, and then we have the press blocking removing equipment, where we remove the block after the soldering is proper, and then we move to again optical inspection of the solders and everything is impeccable. And then there is a barcode. So every phone has a unique ID, and it's not IMEI, but it's a unique manufacturing ID which represents the phone, and all the data for that particular phone is stored in that QR code, and that is a unique identity throughout the process. After that, then there are a series of equipments which are for testing. It starts with the DBC, which is a baseband software related circuits, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all the connectivity related testing. Then we go to the RF testing, which is a series of stringent RF testing which is being done. This is super important, especially for operators where across in China as well as Europe, and they're very stringent on RF testing of the different connectivity features, right from baseband to Wi-Fi to Bluetooth. And it's also it's important for the FCC certification as well. So there's a series of like 5 equipments we are seeing for RF testing. After the RF testing, there's a visual inspection of the board appearance and how it is being populated, and also the precision of the soldering and everything. Post that, there is gluing on the top of the chips, and this gluing is to stick RF shields on the top of the different ICs. Once the glue is done, and most of the shielding is done, it goes through the ovens, and the glue is equally spreaded and then it's properly baked into a completely shielded device. Post that, move to the next process where it's more of the barcode collection equipment, where most of the function is scanning and collecting the barcodes on the main board, subboards, YCCD equipment, and there's a camera and robot within that which inspects all the components for that particular PCB is perfectly populated. And then there is the final stage in this functional test process is the inspecting. The final inspection is being done and the PCBs are ready for moving to the next stage, which is the assembly process stage. So in the assembly process, the PCBs are loaded later at the later stage, but the first step is looking at the different bezels and removing the protecting film, conducting inspections, as well as visibility of the bezel, which is the housing of the phone where the PCB will sit. Once that is done, then there are a series of steps: glue dispensing to main board assembling into the casing, and then there is screwing, then there are protection films on top of the phones, and then you go through a series of other assembling processes, right from SPK to even to board interlocks, as well as FPC assembling onto the PCB and the device. Once the PC assembling is done, it's being again manually inspected, and then once manually inspected, then they do real temperature monitoring test. So after the casing has been done, the mainboard assembly along with the overall casing does. There is screwing equipment, and then there is protecting films for the same, and then there is also battery section where the battery is inserted within the phone. This has non-removable batteries, so this is the process where the batteries are being integrated within the device. And once the batteries are integrated device, they are also again checked in terms of the positioning of the battery and the fit of the battery within the device. And then we move down to different testing phases of different pressures, as well as FPC assembling. The FPCs are also integral part of the correcting the different functions of the board. And post that, we go to the camera module assembling, and it's quite fascinating to see. It's being done right now manually with some sort of inspection, and the modules are being placed on the back side of the device. Post that, there's again pressing as well as testing of the entire PCB along with the modules. Post that, we are seeing other series of testing to check the leakage, to check the power on functions, the charging standby function, everything related to the power and charging. So the next stage, there's a wireless charging coil which is being placed on the top of the battery. And once that is done, it goes for the further lines which are for screwing the equipment overall, and also checking in terms of again pressure as well as the interlocking of the different parts of within the device. Once the camera module wireless charging battery has been assembled within the device, then it goes to overall cleaning and gluing with respect to device casing. So there's a perfect fit for all the components. Once that is done, there is again a stage of manual inspection of the back cover. The next stage is putting on the back cover on top of the device. Again, the battery cover pressing equipment is again unique and has a different level of processes within it, sub-processes. The next process is creating a layer of nanofilm of surface on the product through spraying process to gain much better waterproof quality. This is the stage where most of the IP68 and IP65 related ratings have been done. Once the overall battery cover and the protector cover is being done, then there are quick functional tests which are again testing out the entire device with respect to connectivity and overall functions, booting, display color, noise reduction as well. And then there's the next stage is for calibration and the button testing equipment. There's a dedicated AI button as well on the Honor 8 series, which is being tested, and there are a series of hardware and software tests, app level tests, which are also being done within the assembly line. Then there are different burn-in tests for battery, screen, memory, and compute to see the functional defects and everything is working properly. So there are hundreds of test scenarios which are being run throughout the process for assembly. which makes it very robust in terms of overall product reliability and quality. Then we come down to the next phase is rear camera testing, where there are multiple test scenarios run on the multiple daily use cases for the cameras and are simulated within the machine and being tested out on terms of color calibration, as well as brightness, low light, and so forth. There is also a dedicated equipment for OIS testing. OIS is touted to be a big feature in the Honor Magic 8 series. Any functional defects related to OIS is being tested out here. And then comes down to the calibration of the cameras on the rear and how it can help maintain a standard quality across all the devices and maintain that particular photo taking experience which is consistent across all the devices. So once there is proper calibration of the rear cameras, then we move down to fingerprint testing. There's a robot which tests the fingerprint onto the device. Magic 8 series has on-screen fingerprint reader. So the most of the test cases are related to the touchscreen and the fingerprint sensor on the device. So already we have been through SMT functional testing and we are almost nearing the assembly testing. This is one of the last stages where the commercial software firmware for wireless telecommunication, which is unique to different operators. If it's an operator model, it's being integrated or downloaded into the device right now, and there could be some customization happening at a software level for the particular device. Again, as I said, there is a unique barcode for every device, and based on that, the machine knows which is the SKU, which is the model, and basically the firmware is downloaded accordingly. And once it is done, it is also tested out. There is other level of testing which is being done with respect to color calibration, and there are multi-functional test equipments for like battery charging, as well as NFC, then USB OTG testing as well. So once all of these software level testing are done, then there's a special equipment for printing out the Honor logo. The alignment of the Honor logo is super important. If there is even a small misalignment, they have to go back to the entire process of the back cover and start again. So it's super critical to have the logo right printed onto the device. Once that is done, all the online IP related info is checked and the factory settings, resetting to the default, everything is consistent across different models and also as per the SKUs, depending on the region where the phone is going. Once that is done, then comes the final process, box packaging of the phone, which includes all the different covering of the phone with film, putting into the box, which is done manually actually after the visual inspection of the device, and a SIM card tray is inserted at the same time, and then it's finally put into the box. And once the box is done, then the box is also plastic wrapped with automatically with the robot. And once that is done, the sticker is also placed for that particular IMEI number. So we are almost near the final stage. The box is packed, completely ready to ship, and you can see in this particular line, and this is the final Magic 8 packed and ready to deliver to global unit.